I've wanted to do this video for a long time, but today's the day. We're going to be talking about one of our current players, one of our first year players that had a tremendous end to the season, and what we can expect from him next season. We obviously saw so much talent, we saw so much positivity and potential, and it's time to see if we can expand on that. Now, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about already, it's quite clear and simple. Today, I want to talk about Coby White and what to expect from him next season. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Coby White video and just what to expect from him coming into the next season for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below what are your expectations for Coby White next season and where do you think he will end up being overall for the Chicago Bulls when his career continues and develops. And we've got a big one today because Coby White is someone that I actually have never made a video solely based on Coby White, I don't believe. I mean, if you could go back on my channel, maybe you'll find something to do with Coby White, but I don't talk about him a lot, even though he's one of my favorite players. And I wanted to make one solely about him because, in my opinion, he was so impressive in the last 2 months of the Chicago Bulls season before it got cut short, that in my opinion, there is no way to run away from how good Coby White can be. There is potential there, and obviously we hope to see that potential thrive in the next season, in his second season, with a little bit of better circumstances around him, we would think. And overall, I just wanted to talk about a few of the things that could potentially be a factor to what Coby White can produce next season. So first off, is a very big thing I wanted to talk about here is the stats. So the stats for Coby White in the last season is 13.2 points per game, 3.5 team rebounds per game, and 2.7 assists, shooting 39% from the field goal and 35% from three-point range. Very, very good stats for Coby White in his first year, considering the circumstances he was in. Now, people will look at that. People will look at the stats and say, it's pretty average. It's pretty average. But of course, those people who have probably never watched the Chicago Bulls before have not known what Coby White was doing in the last 2 months, and also don't really know whether the guy was starting or not. So those people are saying that his stats were average. You need to look at all the circumstances put in front of you before you can make a statement like that. In my opinion, the amount of games that he did start, with the amount of minutes that he did have, these stats are very, very good in relation to Coby White. And we expect to see them increase. 13 points per game is not easy in the NBA. There are many players that can't crack the 10 points per game mark. It's just the way that it is. And Coby White has done that in his first year. This guy was the 7th pick. He was the 7th pick coming out of North Carolina with a lot of hype and hard work and talent around him. And he was thriving with the Chicago Bulls at the later part of the season. So, without further ado, enough looking at the past. Let's see what we can look at for the future. So, what do you guys think? Will he improve? Will he improve this season? And will he improve tenfold, or will it be a slightly gradual improvement? And of course, that comes down to a few things. The first thing I want to talk about, will Coby White start next season? Now, to a Bulls fan, it's a clear and obvious answer. Of course, the Coby White would start. If you guys saw how talented this guy is in the last 2 months of the season, you would know this guy is definitely should be our starter. I don't care who the head coach is or AK and all of the management. I think everyone's in agreement here that Coby White should be starting. He's a young, talented prospect. He developed so much in the space of a year. He's a very hard worker. He's a very, very good offensive threat. And defensively, he's a very good hustle type player. He is something, in my opinion, the Chicago Bulls would definitely look down upon if he was on the bench. The Chicago Bulls fans, most of the players probably would not enjoy the fact that Coby White would be on the bench. But of course, he was on the bench for majority of last season, and that's why the opportunities were short, and that's why the inconsistencies were there, and that's why overall he didn't have the breakout season that everyone thought. He did win a Rookie of the Month, and guess what happened in that Rookie of the Month? He started nearly every single game that month, and he was putting up nearly 23 to 25 points per game in those games. One of the best stat lines of that month out of all rookies. And only very few amount of rookies you could say has as much potential as Coby White. So obviously you have the Zions and the Ja Morants of the world. You have the Tyler Heroes of the world. And there are probably more. But Coby White, in my opinion, is just up there. All rookie second team for point. He's a point guard. So it was kind of hard to beat Ja Morant and probably Tyler Hero. I assume he got first team. So in the end, he's right up there with those guys. Now, he's not better than Ja Morant, I'm not saying that. But in the end, Coby White should be starting, and that is basically the whole point I was trying to get across in this. That 1 month that he won Rookie of the Month, he was starting every game and was putting up points, and he was playing. He was trying to show his talents. The Bulls weren't getting anywhere, so he had to show what he got to the Bulls so that he could force his way into the starting lineup, because Jim Boylen royally misused a lot of our players, and Coby White was not exempt to that. Obviously, in saying that, of course he should be starting, but we should be looking further in, and we should be looking at the head coaching position as well. Obviously, we have a brand new head coach in Billy Donovan that focuses on team-oriented style and wants to get people's best out of them. Now, this can only be a positive for Coby White, because in the end, Jim Boylen royally misused him, misused Larry Marketing, probably misused Wendell Carter as well, misused a bunch of our players, and in the end, maybe despite the injuries, Coby White was the one that was pretty much there the entire year this year. And again, with Billy Donovan looking to get the best out of him, he obviously really rates Coby White. I could tell you Chris Paul's probably been in his ear lately about how good Coby White can be. And of course, Billy Donovan has witnessed it firsthand, as OKC was one of the teams that Coby White demolished in terms of his play. Of course, OKC won that game, I'm pretty sure, but Coby White was definitely the standout out of everybody in that game. And it speaks for itself. Billy Donovan clearly sees, in my opinion, what the Chicago Bulls fans see in Coby White. So much potential, so much scoring ability, so much well-rounded playability. And the fact is, if we're looking for team orientation, that's going to mean one thing for Coby White. The one weakness that we all say that he could potentially have, and many people don't even believe that he have, the one weakness that could easily be resolved with more player development, with more team orientation, is his playmaking. It's his playmaking. There's no secret, in my opinion, the Chicago Bulls need a playmaker. But what's to say that Coby White can't develop into that playmaker? You've seen a lot of players throughout many years become a very good playmaker in the NBA. Look at Jimmy Butler. In his last season, Jimmy Butler averaged nearly 5-6 assists. I will show the stat, but his last season with the Chicago Bulls, he averaged nearly 5-6 assists. He became a playmaker. In the end, the Chicago Bulls can develop their best players to become playmakers. It's not necessarily needing to look for one, more as to develop one. And maybe Coby White can be that. Then that's an ultimate target, because he's going to be a scorer, he's going to be a playmaker, he's going to be all these things that we're looking for. And in the end, he plays very fast, he's very intense. This is not it's not meant to be a Coby White like praising Coby White video. I truly believe that there is more to Coby White next season that we're going to see than we saw this season. So that's why I can't wait for it. And of course, there are many reasons as well. There are many reasons besides Billy Donovan. And there are many reasons besides getting more minutes that could be the factor. Obviously, rookies come into the NBA extremely inconsistent. Coby White is probably one of those players. Was very inconsistent. You can't hide from that. That's what first year players are like. The second year in the NBA, he's going to get slightly more consistent, slightly better. We're going to see more from him. Then even in the third season, we're probably going to see him break out. We could even see him break out this season. He's been a very fast learner, quick developer. And in the end, another year in the NBA is going to make him another year better. And another year better means that it's going to be a better year for the Chicago Bulls. Now, there are halts. There are stuff that can halt Coby White. And the first thing is, and I am the one that I am kind of against it depending on who it is, but if we trade or if we go after another point guard in the NBA in terms of trading for someone or drafting from the NBA draft, if we draft another point guard, depending on who it is, that could really stint Coby White's development, because that most likely means that he's sharing a position with yet another point guard. And the only way to solve that is if we get rid of point guards ourselves. Look at the point guards that we do have. Coby White, obviously. Thomas Satoransky, obviously. Chris Dunn. Shaquille Harrison. Ryan Archidiakono, and I'm pretty sure those are the ones off the top of my head are all the point guards that we have with the Chicago Bulls. So there is a lot of minutes to go around in that point guard position for a lot of players, in my opinion, that are not the quality of Coby White. So Coby White will get a lot of those minutes. But what happens if we draft a Killian Hayes? What happens if we trade for a Derrick Rose? What happens if we trade for even LaMelo Ball or draft LaMelo Ball? Even though I personally think LaMelo Ball won't stunt Coby White, and I still stick by that. For months I've stick by that. Killian Hayes, in my opinion, will. And in my opinion, Derrick Rose probably will as well, unless we get rid of some of our point guards. So I think that it depends on what the Chicago Bulls have in mind. I truly 100% believe with Billy Donovan, we are going to go after Denny. I just don't see any other way around it, unless Denny is taken in this with the Warriors or the Hornets or wherever, whoever picks before us. Unless Denny goes to another team, I don't see the Chicago Bulls letting him go. I just don't see that, because in the end, he is something that, in my opinion, we're going to need playmaking from a different position than the point guard spot. So that all depends. There are obviously things, and obviously if you're going to trade for Derrick Rose, you would like to think that Coby White would still start, but even if he doesn't start, you would need to get rid of another point guard in that position. I mean, I know we pride ourselves on versatility. Satoransky can play 1 through 3. Chris Dunn can play 1 through 3. Coby White can play 1 and 2. So you have the variety there, but overall you'd like to see Coby White play a lot of minutes to get those stats. And those minutes so far, unless we get rid of another point guard, might not be as easy for him to come by then as Zach LaVine, even an Otto Porter, maybe a Larry Marketing. So there you go. The minutes could definitely be something to consider. As well as Coby White getting more minutes, he might not get as many minutes as we predict. So if I have to predict Coby White's second season stats, I want my expectation for Coby White would be around 16 points per game, would probably be around 3 assists as an increase to 2.7, I believe, and probably 3 rebounds as well. I want that type of season, because in the end, Coby White is probably going to be the second or the third scoring option behind Zach LaVine and Larry Marketing. So he's going to have a lot of the ball. He's going to take a lot of the shots. And not only that, he can create his own shot. It's not like Larry Marketing where you have to pass the ball to him. So Coby White might just be the second option on this team by now. And if that is the case, then you want to see him show those types of stats that can demonstrate it. And I think that's a good way to put Coby White. He has had a tremendous year, and I think he's been the most positive thing you could ever take out of Chicago, probably bar Zach LaVine's incredible year for the Chicago Bulls. So Coby White is the big talking point. Coby White is the big improvement. Coby White is the most positive thing out of this season. And next season, he will come into this looking to become a better player than here. And he's going to have more opportunities to do that. It's not a sink or swim season. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say if Coby White averages the same stats as he did this year to last season, that it's going to be a bad G for him. All I'm saying is there's a lot of potential for Coby White to increase his efficiency, to increase his work rate, increase his numbers, increase in every way for the Chicago Bulls. There's going to be so much opportunity. He should be starting. He should get more minutes. He should be the third scoring option or even the second scoring option. There is no way to fail, in my opinion, for Coby White. But of course, potential, man. It's all about the potential, and he definitely has potential to be extremely special for an extremely long time. So thank you guys for watching this video. I feel like I did ramble in this video. It was basically, let's praise Coby White, but you can't, in the end, if I'm praising someone, it's because they deserve it. And name one thing that makes me believe Coby White doesn't deserve it. I have friends who don't go for Chicago, that say Coby White is trash. And those people you truly know don't know anything about the NBA. And that's the sad thing, is that there's still going to be people out there that don't go for the Bulls. They have no idea what we've been through. They have no idea how well Coby White has played. There are going to be people out there that are going to say that Coby White is bad. And this video is specifically aimed for them, because I'm telling you right now, they don't know anything about basketball if they think Coby White is trash. And again, come on this video and prove me wrong if you believe so, because I bet you if the Chicago Bulls fans react to the many other videos I've made to this video as well, I'm pretty sure a lot of them, if not all of them, will back me up in saying Coby White is an extremely talented player that could take the next step next season. And again, I can't wait to see it if it does happen. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in another video. Take care and peace.